Hello learners, welcome to eShiksha Bytes. Today we are going to study about nouns and pronouns. Since childhood, we have been studying nouns and pronouns, their definitions as well as their kinds. We know that we have different kinds of nouns, same way we have different kinds of pronouns also. But when it comes to usage, we are again back to pavilion. Today we'll learn the functions, the positions of nouns and pronouns. In grammar, we have eight part of speech, like we have pronouns, prepositions, conjunctions, interjections, verbs, adverbs, adjectives, nouns, and sometimes articles are also included as a part of your as parts of speech, but articles are determiners that we'll learn in the next session. But before we move to the proper understanding of nouns and pronouns, let's study how parts in speech makes a sentence meaningful. For say, we have a sentence: the old man was sitting under a tree and patiently waiting for his son to arrive. See how the combination of different parts of speech gives a very meaningful sentence. The is article, man is noun. When a word or a phrase modifies a noun, it becomes adjective. So old is adjective, was sitting is verb, under is your preposition, is again article, tree is noun, and is conjunction. How he is waiting? Patiently. So this is your adverb. Waiting is verb for preposition, his pronoun, son noun, and to arrive is verb. How different parts of speech they combine together and makes a sentence meaningful and beautiful. Same way, but again, one part of speech, if it is playing one role in one sentence, it may play a different role, or it may become a different part of speech in the another sentence. It totally depends on how it is used in a sentence. For example, if I write, this book is mine, this is one sentence. And if I write the next sentence, this is my book. Now again we have this common in both the sentences and book as a noun in both the sentences. But when we say this in this sentence is adjective. Why adjective? Because this is modifying the word book, and book is your noun. So word which is modifying a noun is your adjective. So in this case, this is adjective. But when we read the second sentence, this is my book, in this case, this is your pronoun. Why pronoun? Because this is working as a subject. So your subject can be either noun or pronoun. So this is not a noun, this is pronoun. So here this is a subject. So this is your demonstrative pronouns, pointing out we're talking about this particular book. So this is, in one sentence it is playing a role of an adjective, and the same word when it is used in a different way in a sentence, then it can be a different part of speech. Like in this it is a pronoun. So an individual word can function as more than one part of speech when it is used in a different circumstances. Now let's move to nouns and pronouns. How they are used, what is their role, and why we have to use it, why, like in what way these nouns and pronouns are used. So first rule says that every sentence must have a subject. In the previous slide I told you how the noun or pronoun, they are used as a subject, and the rule says if a sentence is having a subject and the subject must be a noun. So the first thing is noun. Whenever you find a subject, so it is sure that it is either a noun or a pronoun. Let's look at these three sentences. The first one is the student sat down in front of a computer. So the student, this is a subject portion. Subject is basically the doer, and set, again this is a verb. This is the next portion of sentence. So this is the noun. And if you don't want to use, if there is like no student, you are not mentioning it, so you, if it can be replaced with the pronoun he. He sat down in front of a computer. So to become a subject in a sentence, we have to use a noun or a pronoun. If we are not using a noun, then we can use pronoun. No other part of speech can take the place of a subject, or can take a place of a noun or a pronoun. They can be either your subject as well as your object also. We'll do in the next slide. Now the second sentence is Lisa is an intelligent girl. Now Lisa is again a subject, name of a person, name of a girl. So this is your noun. Same way in the third sentence, the adventures of Huckleberry. Again, this is a name of a book, so this is a noun, and I told you to become a subject, a word or phrase needs to be a noun. So this is a name of a book, it is a noun, so this is subject. So the first rule is clear, every sentence must have a subject and the subject must be a noun. So all these three, the student, Lisa, and these are noun and these are your subject. And if there is no noun, then it should be replaced with the pronoun. Like the student is replaced by he, Lisa is replaced by she, and the name of a book, The Adventures of Huckleberry, is replaced by it. So these all, he, she, it, they are the subject of a sentence. The first rule is noun and pronoun must be the subject of a sentence. And in pronouns we have a singular and plural. Same way with nouns also we have a singular and plural, but the students generally get confused where this is a subjective case or an objective case. So now he, she, it, they are your subjective case, they are used as a subject in a sentence. So in the first portion, like when they are singular, we have these pronouns like I, my, you, he, she, it, they. These are the subject. It means they can be in the subject form. They'll always be the subject in the sentence. So it means they'll take this position only, like the he, she, it. They have taken it. Now we'll take the next example, the next rule. So nouns can also be the object of a verb. So what are objects? So object is the receiver of subject's action of a verb. And objects are of two kinds, direct objects and indirect objects. Direct objects gives the answer of who, whom, or what, whereas indirect objects answers to whom, for whom, or for what. When you get the for what, so when you get the answer of these questions, it becomes your indirect objects, and when you get an answer of who, whom, or what, it becomes your direct objects. Let's try to understand with an example. If I write Alex caught the ball. Alex is noun, caught is verb, and this is the ball. Ball is your noun. Now you get an answer. After the verb you have this object. Alex caught what? You are getting an answer of what, so this is your direct object. Alex caught the ball, so this is your direct object. Now to understand indirect objects, let's say your sentence is they sent him a postcard. They is your subject, sent is your verb. Now him and postcard are your objects. Now which is your indirect object and which is your direct object? When you get an answer of what, they sent what, when you get an answer of what, it is your direct object. So postcard is your direct object. And to whom, when you get an answer of to whom, it is your indirect object. So him is your indirect object. So they sent postcard, and him postcard is direct object and him is your indirect object. Now the nouns, they can be if you're not using a noun, they are replaced by pronouns. Why I'm saying pronouns? Because pronouns are used in place of a noun. For say, I'm saying Ram is eating breads. To replace this noun is the male. So for male, and in a subjective case we use he. So he is eating breads. So if you have to replace a noun, use pronouns. Now let's understand this. The teacher helped the students. Teacher is subject, and to be a subject it has to be a noun. So teacher is common noun, helped is verb, and the students is your object. Which object is this? This is a direct object. The student helped whom, you're getting an answer of whom, so this is your direct object. Next is that boy is searching for a cat. The boy is searching for what? Searching is a verb. For what? You're getting an answer of what, so this is again cat is your object, that is your direct object. Next sentence, will you please call students to come in? Call is your verb, and after verb we have the object, receiver of the action, that is students. Call whom? Students. So this is again student is your object. Teacher helped him. Now we need to understand the subjective and objective case. When we use a subject, we have a different pronouns. The subjective pronouns like he, like she, he, it, we, they. But when we talk about an objective case, we have, see, me, mine. Second person remains the same, you, and for the third person, him, her, it. I'll explain in the next slide how the first, what is this first person, second person, third person. Now the teacher helped him. Whom the teacher helped? Him. The boy is searching for it. Third person, it. Will you please call them? These, him, it, they, these are your objective pronouns. They cannot be, him cannot or cannot be your subject of a sentence. Now nouns have plurals. We know nouns are the naming words. Boy, we have boys. Men, men. Bee, bees. It's not always that nouns by adding s it becomes a plural, but sometimes when we change the mid letter of any word, we take pronouns also, like men, men, women, women. So, and articles are used before a noun, with certain exceptions. Certain exceptions are there, and pronouns also have a plural, like we have discussed about the subjective and the objective case in the previous slides. For the first person, if we are using we, the subjective case is us. For you, it remains the same because the second person, and for the third person, if you are using subject as a they, then objective case for they is them, and we don't use articles before pronouns. Like we cannot say the he, we don't say that. The they, we don't do that. So these pronouns, they don't have articles. Now let's understand what is this first person, second person, and third person in pronouns. See, both singular and plural pronouns have first person, second person, and the third person. When you talk about the first person, if you are talking about your own self, about oneself. For example, I'm talking about myself, so I'll use I and my as a subject. Me and mine becomes your object. Object case. See how this book is mine. I cannot use my here because my is your subjective case. It is not an objective case, that you need to understand. So I and my will take the will be the are your subjective case, and me and mine are your objective case. So this is the first person when you're talking about yourself. Now when you talk about a second person, two people, they're talking, or when you're talking to someone, the second person is your you. I'm talking to you. You are my friend, or I am talking to you. So the subjective case and the objective case of second persons remains the same. So you is your second person. Now the third person, when talking to someone else, like two people, they're talking, and when they're talking about the third person who is not involved in the conversation, then we're talking about a third person, like he, she, like she is a good girl. Now she is not in a conversation, so but we are talking about it, so we are referring is at a she. Like same way with the he, then it and they, these are the subjective cases. But when we are talking about these the third person, and we have to use a objective case, then we should use her, him, them. Okay, now let's try to do some practice to understand the usage of these nouns and pronouns, to remove any kind of a confusion. If I say my sister is very clever, here I'm talking, this my is your pronoun. Sorry, pronoun. Okay, but my is your subjective pronoun. Okay, my sister is clever. Dash won first prize for mathematics. Now this is the beginning of a next sentence. So it should have an objective pronoun. Here we are talking about a sister. So sister is female. So which pronoun should be used? And it should be a subjective subject. So we have studied that it should use the objective case, that is she. So she won first prize for mathematics. Next is, I saw Zina and Tom today. Now here we are talking about two people, and I here is used as a pronoun. I saw Zina and Tom today. Now we are beginning a next sentence. Dash told me to say hello to you? Who told? I saw Zina and Tom. They are two person, and when we are talking about the plural pronoun, then we should use they. They told me to say hello to you. Next sentence. We are going to cinema. We, pronoun. Plural pronoun. We are going to the cinema. Would you like to join? We, for the we, which objective case we should use? Yes, us. This is the objective case for the plural. Next, the boys are so noisy. We are talking about noise, boys. And I told, boys is your plural. And for plural, we have I told. Who? For the boys. I told. And an objective case. Now we don't have to use subjective case over here. We have to use objective case, plural objective case. It should be them. The boys are so noisy. I told them to keep quiet. So them is objective. Next is Arjun painted this picture. Now Arjun is a name of a boy. This is a noun. And to replace a noun, this is the boy. So for boy, again dash, he is very dash is very creative. So again, this is the beginning of a sentence, and we have already referred the name of a person here. Instead of using Arjun, we should use a pronoun, and that to be singular subjective case, that is your he. I hope now you understand ki when we use a pronouns, how the subjective cases are different from the objective cases, and we usually get confused where to use the subjective and the objective cases. So it's very pretty sure ki when you get an answer of whom and what, it becomes your objective cases, and the nouns and pronouns are used in a subjective cases as well as in an objective cases. This is the function of nouns and pronouns. Kinds, we know the different kinds of nouns, we know different kinds of pronouns, but when it comes to usage we face problem. And I hope this particular session is going to help you out how we have to use nouns and pronouns and what is the function of nouns and pronouns in sentences. So keep learning. These are certain sentences as like food for your brain. You try out these sentences, do it if you feel any. I hope you like the sessions.